Imagine a period in American history when the very idea of fairness was interpreted in a profoundly contradictory way. This era saw laws designed to uphold one standard of citizenship while actively denying it to another group, all under a veneer of equality. It is a crucial concept for understanding the long struggle for civil rights in the United States. The separate but equal doctrine was a legal principle that allowed racial segregation in public facilities and services, provided that the facilities designated for each race were notionally equivalent. This meant that states could legally enforce policies of racial separation, as long as the services offered to African Americans were theoretically of the same quality as those offered to white citizens. It was a foundational legal justification for Jim Crow laws across the American South. The core mechanism behind this doctrine was the landmark Supreme Court decision in Plessy v. Ferguson in 1896. In this case, the court ruled that a Louisiana law mandating separate railway cars for blacks and whites did not violate the 13th or 14th Amendments. The majority opinion argued that segregation did not imply inferiority, and therefore, separate accommodations did not infringe upon equal protection under the law. This ruling created a powerful legal precedent, effectively sanctioning state-sponsored segregation for over half a century. In practice, the separate but equal doctrine manifested in nearly every aspect of daily life, particularly impacting African Americans. Communities were forced to use separate schools, hospitals, waiting rooms, restrooms, and transportation, which were almost universally inferior in quality and resources compared to those for white citizens. Understanding this daily reality helps to grasp the systemic challenges faced by Black Americans and the necessity of the civil rights movement. It was a legal fiction that masked profound inequality. An interesting detail from the Plessy v. Ferguson case is the powerful dissenting opinion of Justice John Marshall Harlan. He famously wrote that the Constitution is colorblind and does not permit classes among citizens. Harlan predicted that the separate but equal doctrine would prove to be a badge of inferiority for African Americans. His foresight was remarkable, as the doctrine indeed solidified systemic oppression and racial hierarchy for generations. Ultimately, the separate but equal doctrine represents a dark chapter in American legal history, demonstrating how legal frameworks can be used to perpetuate injustice. Its eventual overturn by the Supreme Court in the 1950 for Brown v. Board of Education decision was a monumental victory, paving the way for the dismantling of legal segregation and affirming the principle that separate facilities are inherently unequal. Understanding this doctrine is key to comprehending the roots of institutional racism and the hard-won battles for equality.